Okay, so most of the complaints that I receive, especially from people in the diaspora, also in Ghana, is that, oh, I want to buy a land and, they defrauded me. I want to buy a land. They say it belongs to somebody else. I have a very personal close friend who was narrating his ordeal to me of having, let his family buy a land for him, and there are a whole lot of issues back and forth, and he's even tired. And I know this is one of the major problems with people living abroad, and also even people living in Ghana. So if you are considering buying a land in Ghana, all right, stay tuned. Let's go through and break down things that you need to know and understand. Okay, good. Now that we've established this premise, first of all, I want to show you that the sort of types of land ownership we have in Ghana. It's very important because for each and every land ownership we have in Ghana determines the sort of approach to buying it. Okay, so let's go right into it. Now, the first form of land ownership we have in Ghana is stool or skin land. Why is it called stool or skin land? Those are lands that belongs, or for which the stool or the chief of that area have ownership or custodian ownership to. It is believed that those stool or the skin, if you are in the north, are custodian of the land. Okay, so whenever you are buying a land, ask yourself, is it a stool land? Then you have to buy it from the chief of that area. It's very, very important. So one aspect is stool land. The second one is family or clan land. Okay, so what I forgot to add was that for stool land, mostly in Ashanti region, the Otumfo has even a secretariat about it, where it helps you, register your land and all that. There's also family lands in Accra, some stool lands in Accra, in Takrady and other parts of Ghana. It's very common. Now, the second one is family land, okay, or clan lands. Now, these are lands that are owned and controlled by families. Now, these are very, very distinctive from stool lands. Stool lands are controlled by the stool or the royal family of that area, so the chief in that area. However, on the family land, it is controlled by the family, headed by the Ebusuapeni, the head of the family, Ebusuapeni. So if you are going to buy land that is a family land, you don't buy it from any family member, but you go straight to the Ebusuapeni, to the head of the family, and that's where you can buy your land from. So know the difference. Then the next sort of land ownership in Ghana is state land. Okay, this is the land that belongs to the government. Okay, the government for so many years may have compulsorily acquired the land or taken it from families or stool for whatever purposes the government deemed fit. So if you are interested in buying state land, now those state land is controlled by the government, represented by the Lands Commission of Ghana. So if you want to buy a state land, a land that belongs to the government, you go to the Lands Commission and deal with them. So one aspect of it is that. And then there's another aspect of state land that is called vested land. It's still under the government control. Vested lands are in the Constitution of Ghana, the 1992 Constitution, but these are land that the state have appropriated from either families or from the stool because of some dispute, chieftaincy dispute or family dispute. So that the state comes in and just take control over the land. But they are also being administered by the Lands Commission. The state sells them, rent them, and take the proceeds and hold it in trust for the families and the chief and the stool. If their issues are settled, and then the government can return those lands to. Most of these lands, you can find them in Sunyani, and the Borno and Hafo region. Yeah, it's very common in that area. So you need to understand these are the three main land ownership forms in Ghana. It can be a stool or skin land. It can be a family or clan land. It can also be state land that is controlled by the government. Now, I hear many people say, okay, I'm going to buy a land. I've got to buy a land. And to them, the idea they have in their mind is that they have bought this surface soil land with trees on it, and they have to clear it, and the land belongs to them, and that's it. Please, that is not the case. If you are not a stool, a family, or a state, you cannot have absolute control over the physical soil called land. What you have gone to buy with money is not necessarily the physical soil there. What you have gone to buy is what we call in law interest. So you didn't buy the physical soil forever. No, you bought something we call interest in the land. And those interests are very different. We have different forms of interest that exist in land. We are going to go in shortly. I will list and explain every single bit of the interest that you need to understand. Now, so you need to understand that what you want to buy is not the surface soil. It's not a whole land, whatever it is, with the trees on it, and it belongs to you and all that. No. What you want to buy is something called interest. And that interest is measured in time. The measurement for that interest is in time. So it's number of years. Okay. That is what you've gone to buy. So you need to understand it. Now you understand why I'm saying this, because when we get to the different types of interest, you will know why I'm saying this and what the law, also the 1992 Constitution, says about all of them. Okay. So now the first sort of interest which persists in land in Ghana is called the allodial interest. The allodial interest. Now these interests are held by the original family or stool owners of the land. Okay, because this form of interest called allodial interest, it is not limited by time. It is forever. Okay, so all the families in Ghana that have land, it belongs to them forever until such a time where the states use their powers to compulsorily acquire the land. Even with that, the state has to compensate the family. So that interest is only unique to the people, to the first settlers to the land who laid claim to those land. It could be a stool, it could be a family, or it could be even a state. The state, those people own the interest called allodial interest. Okay. Now, there's a second form of interest that is called leasehold interest. Now, that is where most of you come in. Okay, so where a lot of people go say, oh, he said, I went to this, it was your pain, I bought a land from him. I went to this chief, I bought land from him. So what you got is called leasehold interest. Now, leasehold interest is not into perpetuity like allodial interest. Leasehold interest is limited and bound by time. According to the 1992 Constitution, every Ghanaian buying a land is entitled to maximum 99 years leasehold interest. If you're a Ghanaian, you hold a Ghanaian nationality, and you buy a land, you're entitled to maximum 99 years leasehold interest in the land that you are buying, either from the stool, either from the state, or from the family. You're entitled to 99-year-old lease. Okay, so that's the sort of interest. Now, question is, what happens after the 99-year-old expires? After 99-year-old. Now, the law says that after the expiration of your interest in the land, if you're a Ghanaian, the land and every property on it. Now listen to this. The land and every property on it returns back to the original allodial owners. Why am I stressing this? Why is this very important? You two get it. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. Please subscribe also to this channel because there's so much information to get right now. The leasehold interest, at the expiration of it, you need to either go back to the family or the school to renegotiate with them at a new price, or you surrender everything on the land, including the properties you've built, to the original owners. That's what the law says. It might be unfair, but that's how it says. However, there's a way around it. There's something called surrender and renewal. Okay, so maybe you bought the land for 99 years. Now the interest in the land allows you to use the land, okay, for whatever you deem fair, so long as it's within the confines of the law. Now, after you've got that, after you finish the interest, it returns back to the owners. If you don't want that to happen, then what you should do is that when you get to realize that your leasehold is expiring, then you can surrender. Let's say you are left with 10 years to expiration. You've used 89 years. It's left with 10 years to expire. Then you can go to the original owners of the land and say, hey, I want to surrender my 10 years in the interest to renew it and get an additional 99 years. Now, when you do that, if you don't wait to the end of the 99 years and you surrender some years ahead before, you pay less money than if you had waited till the end of the year of the 99 years. So that is also very, very important. You should take notice of that. Now, that is where a lot of people ought to be careful, okay? Because when you're going to buy a land from another person, we're going to talk about it. Anyway, maybe I think we should go into it. The next type of interest is called sublease interest. Now, sublease, just like the name sounds, sublease is an interest that is carved out of the leasehold interest, okay? A portion of the leasehold interest. For example, somebody may have a lease for 99 years from the chief, and he says that, oh, I'm going to lease 45 years to you. So he has got 99 years from the chief, and then he said, I'm going to sublease my land to you. You can use it for 45 years. After 45 years, you come back to me. Now, sublease. And this is what a lot of the real estate companies in Ghana are doing. What they do is this. They get the 99-year lease from the chiefs or from the Bishopini or from the state, wherever. And then they build on the house and they claim that, oh, we are selling houses, mortgage and all that. But in the lease, they will limit you to either 50 years or 45 years. Just so that after 50 years and 45 years, your house that you've bought is sitting on the land, but your lease is only 45 or 50 years. And this is what many people are missing. People buying houses or service plots from those companies because they are in business. They are company. They don't want to lose their land. They don't want to lose their business. They want you to come back to them and cross to them and renew your lease from them. Otherwise, you will lose it and everything. So they have to. You get to a point where they will charge you more to get you, a lot of money. So that's what they do. So be careful. Some of the lease things you are getting from some sublease. Most of the time, they might not even tell you that it's a sublease, but obviously that's it. They built a beautiful house on it. They are selling to you. Mostly, it's a sublease. Okay. Now, the next form of interest is assignment. Now, assignment is a special one because when you talk of assignment, when somebody has gone for a 99-year lease, the person has stayed on the plot for, let's say, 10 years. So it's left with like 89 years. Now, unlike leasehold, where the person carved a portion of the remaining interest to you, what happens is that in assignment, the case of assignment, the person leases or gives you the rest of his interest to you. He surrendered everything to you. So you are more or less coming to replace the person. You are not under the person like sublease. You are replacing the person totally in the assignment arrangement. So oftentimes you say that, oh, somebody will say, I went to buy a land from another person. No, most of the time, most of what they do is assignment. They are just assigning their interest to you. So I'm out. You take over, but I'm out. So at the end of the 99-year lease, you are the one to negotiate with the chiefs and the family. I am out. I've sold it to you. I'm gone. Now, that's where a lot of people need to understand this. That's why whenever you are buying land, my advice is to get a consultant. Get somebody who knows the market to explain certain things to you. If you go to the Lands Commission, there are a lot of guys who understand this. There are a lot of real estate companies in Ghana who can explain some of these things to you. Because the mistake people do is that they'll go and take somebody's lease, which is like 10 years, 15 years left. And you spend so much money build on that land, only for you to go and renew it after a couple of years. And this is what is going on. So please be careful when getting an assignment or a sublease from people, because it could be a little, dangerous. Okay. All right. So these are the major interests in land in Ghana: the allodial interest, the leasehold interest, the subleasehold interest, and assignment. Okay, now there are other tiny ones like license. So license is more or less a temporary thing granted, a temporary permission granted to people to temporarily use the land, okay, for a project or something. For example, those who dig gold, those people who have been buying gold licenses for concession, gold concession, they buy a license to just dig for gold or bauxite or whatever. And once they are done, the end of their license period gets short. So what they do is for a specific thing. You are digging for gold. You don't go and plant trees or build houses on the land. So licenses are mostly targeted specific for a short period of time, after which the land reverts to the owners. So that's what we call license. The other one is called tenancy. And then tenancy, it's not really common and popular now, because in the olden days where farming was really a thing, so people go into tenancy agreement for either sharecropping or whatever. So what they do is that there's something called ebunu ebusa. So I have my land, I'll give you a tenancy to farm on it. You spend all the energy farming on it. At the end of the day, we go an agreement to divide on the proceeds. So I either get ebunu means divided by 2. So you divide by 2, you get 50%, I get 50%. Or ebusa divided by 3, I get 33.33%. And then you also take 66.66%. So literally that is what tenancy are. But these are the major interests in land. Okay, I hope you have learned something. I hope you have understood something. Next time, please subscribe to this channel. That's what I'm saying. Subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to blow your mind with so much content, a lot of things that you need to know in Ghana, so that you can rightfully, make the right decision when you're buying anything. But one last advice is that if you're buying property in Ghana, if you're buying any form of real estate property, please be sure to contact a consultant. Okay, now next time you are buying a property, I would tell you on what to see on a document, like the land document. Identify the right thing to see, what to make a good indenture or whatever. That will be the next topic, okay, we're going to talk about. So please subscribe. Make sure if you have questions, let me have them. I'll do a special one answering every single questions that you guys pose to me. That I will answer all of them. So that's all for today. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned and watch out for my next video. Until then, goodbye.